This is 17-year-old George Russell. It's hoped that in the years ahead, the English teenager will go on to emulate the feats of his compatriots Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button and reach the very top of the Formula One world.
The first time I ever drove a go-kart was in 2005 in a track called PFI. I was only 7 years old and it was great fun, and I knew I'd love it because that's all I've been growing up with and all I've ever wanted to do.
Transworld Sport caught up with the talented teen at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport. George lives in Wisbech, Cambridgeshire. He's the reigning Formula 4 champion and now competes in the FIA Formula 3 series.
It was a big transition from karting to cars, a lot more than I ever expected, to be honest. The main difference was you couldn't really see hardly anything in single-seater racing. It's very, for the public, seeing an onboard video, let's say, is completely different to what it looks like from the driver's seat, and the limited amount of vision you have is quite incredible, really, but that is the biggest difference from karting to cars.
Last season, whilst competing in Formula 4 for defending champions Lannan Racing, George went into the final race of the campaign at Snetterton with a chance of winning the championship. His teammate Arjun Mani was the biggest threat to his title hopes and led George by 13 points prior to the final race. Raoul Hyman of HHC Motorsport was also in contention, and despite George starting on pole position, he was soon in a battle with Hyman for the lead. With a deft move on the inside, George passed Hyman to regain the lead and the advantage in the race for the championship. George drove with calm assurance to see off Hyman's challenge by 0.7 of a second. It meant that the Drivers' Championship was his. He finished ahead of teammate Arjun Mani by just 3 points.
Last year it was a really tight battle in the championship I raced, and going into the last race knowing I had to win the winter race to win the championship was very tense and a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but crossing the line, winning the race in the championship was a massive relief.
The success saw George given the McLaren Autosport BRDC Award, presented annually to British motorsport's most promising young driver. Previous winners include Jenson Button, David Coulthard and Dario Franchitti. The award earned him £100,000 and a test drive for McLaren at the end of this year.
I think the proudest moment of my career so far was winning the McLaren Autosport BRDC Award and being the youngest ever person to do so. I think, like I said, there's a lot of great names won that award and been nominated for it, so to go and win it and be the youngest person ever is a great achievement.
This season, the teenager is competing for the Surrey-based team Carlin Racing. They have a long tradition of developing young drivers who have gone on to have prominent careers in Formula One. Team principal is Trevor Carlin.
As Carlin, we're always looking for young talent. I was following George Russell's progress last year when he did the Formula 4 Championship. It went down to the wire, but he won it, so I was very pleased. We then gave him a test, and he was fantastic. I mean, straight away he was quick. He's very intelligent and smart. He's got a great work ethic. I personally think he could be the next British Formula 1 driver.
Carlin Racing was established in 1996. The team has secured the Formula 3 Championship on 9 occasions, the first one being won by Japan's former F1 driver Takuma Sato.
Over the years, there's been a lot of great drivers come through the ranks of Carlin, the likes of Vettel, Ricciardo, so to be racing for such a prestigious team it's great. It's a good honour.
When we met up with George, it was on the eve of his debut in Formula 3, and he was testing at Silverstone and making some final adjustments to his car.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a steering wheel. Got a radio button here which allows me to speak to the team while I'm out on track, and it gives me a lot of information, and what I need to know when I'm out doing a race. And I've got various pages, gives me the temperature I need to know and the brake balance and yeah, just all the information I need to know really, and which helps me throughout the race. So yeah, this is the front wing. It's where we get most of our downforce really. And as you can see, we can change the position of the front wings, and that helps us a lot to tune the setup of the car and to yeah, to fine-tune the balance and to get the most out of it really.
The FIA Formula 3 European Championship consists of 33 races at 10 locations around the continent. At each event there are 3 races. Silverstone was the first locale of the 2015 season, and George got his F3 career off to a storming start with victory in the second race. He currently lies in 5th place in the overall standings and is one of the contenders to be Rookie of the Season, although with 36 cars competing, he has plenty of opposition.
These guys are they're all pretty quick. We run 6 cars, so we sort of have our own little mini league inside the championship. And if you win the Carlin mini league, it means you're pretty good. It means you're going to be right up the top overall. So yeah, we're confident we do a good job for our drivers, and we know how to pick the right ones. So if you win with us, the chances are you'll go all the way.
At 17, Max Verstappen became the youngest driver to appear in Formula 1 when he made the leap straight from Formula 3 last season. Since then, however, the rules have been changed, meaning that George would have to move on to GP2 before getting a drive in F1.
Obviously, winning races at F3 level is the first step. To make it to F1. The next step then is to progress probably to GP2, I would imagine, and show well there, and then he's got to try and impress the Red Bulls and the Mercedes, the Ferraris of the world. If they you get on their radar because you're winning, then they'll grab you nice and early and they'll hopefully take you all the way. That's what we hope. George won the McLaren Motorsport Young Driver Award, so he's already been noticed by F1, so he's made the first step.
My hopes for this season are to be top rookie, I think, and to finish top 3 in the championship. I think that would, if I finish top 3, I'd be extremely happy with. Ultimate goal is to get to Formula 1, then become a Formula 1 world champion.
Well, to be honest, the sky's the limit. You know, you've seen what Jenson Button's done. I see George at that level already, so I don't see any reason why he can't match what Jenson's done and win the Formula 1 World Championship.
George Russell, a name motorsport fans may be hearing more and more about in the years to come.